Hello and welcome back to some more 9999 hours of versus 9 doors. It might be the finale, probably not, because we do have a considerable amount left to go, but I have no idea how long these sections are going to take. We're nearing the end of the game, I know that much, and so the study, I didn't talk about the end of the last episode because I was just so thrown by the plot, but the study was actually really, really good. Some of the best puzzles in the game so far. But the story elements... man. So apparently Akane died because nobody in that group that was standing outside the incinerator had the brain capacity to think to themselves, hey, you know, we got into that room before because we went through the vent. What if we did that again because the rope's still there? I don't know, maybe worth a shot. And she just died, but apparently she's not dead. Also, Snake's confirmed to be Zero because he's Akane's brother and he just took her away. And none of this makes any sense. And I am just so curious to find out how they're going to possibly justify all this bullshit.
You're right. Let's hurry.
This exit needs the Uranus card, too. Hey, Junpei.
Yeah, I know. All right, it's open. Let's go. Okay, Neptune Key, let's see if you work. Yes! I think it unlocked. It says incinerator.
Okay, so no matter which door you went through, it ends up in the same place. Got it.
So this is the incinerator.
This is the first time I've seen it from this side, but yeah, I think so.
Then there ought to be a lever near the door.
Yeah, right here.
Pull that and the door should open.
Got it. Let's go.
What?
What the hell is going on? What's wrong?
Junpei, you came to get me.
How are you not dead?
Of course I did. I made a promise.
I'm so glad you're here. So glad.
Hey, what happened to you?
I'm fine. I just fainted. I wasn't feeling very
Yeah, see, I meant 9 years ago. What happened to you?
I'm feeling a lot better now, though.
Are you sure?
Yes. I just need to rest a little longer. I'm sure I'll be fine. You shouldn't worry about me.
Santa.
Hey, where is it? Where's the gun? You hide it somewhere?
I don't have it. I got sucker punched and they took the gun.
What? Who took it?
What? Isn't that obvious?
I took the gun.
Ace.
Here we are again, folks. Back at it. Here's Ace back at it again. He's got the gun to Lotus's head. Just like last time.
Just what the hell do you think you're doing, Ace? Or maybe I ought to say Gentaro Hongo, CEO of Cradle Pharmaceuticals.
I think my biggest problem with all this so far is that so much of it is just what happened in the Zero Lost ending. I'm just waiting for things for the... Like, obviously there's been differences, right? Differences in dialogue. We explored the library instead. We didn't do that in the other ending. Santa went insane instead of Ace, although I'm pretty sure that, like, he's her sister, or, sorry, he's her brother, or whatever. But, like, fundamentally, the core events are still pretty much the same, so I don't know, whatever.
You have me at a disadvantage, and I don't like that. You know me, but I don't know you.
He said the man with a gun in his hand pointed at someone else's head.
Do you have any idea how much I've suffered? Can you even begin to understand my pain?
The pain of prosopagnosia, right?
Another irritating insect. And how do you know that?
Because I play the Zero Lost ending.
Good question.
No matter.
What?
If you don't want to answer, it makes no difference to me.
Wow, that's actually what they're going with, okay.
This is a waste of time anyway. It's time for me to go. First is, give me your hand. 8. And with this, 9.
The ninth man.
I believe I've won this game. I've had quite a time playing with you. I must thank Zero, I suppose.
Wait, what? Ace doesn't know who Zero is. What the hell are you planning, Santa?
At any rate, this game ends now. I will escape, and the rest of you will have a slightly less pleasant ending. I suggest you enjoy your final moments. Goodbye.
Wait!
What? Why isn't it opening? One more time. Now open! No! What is this? That digital route should be 9! It has to be 9! Then why? Why isn't it opening?
Now!
No! Ugh.
Oh, that was close. Too close. Thank you, Seven.
Finally, his brute force actually came in handy.
Don't mention it. Just one punch ain't enough for this piece of shit. After what he did 9 years ago, I ought to rip him to pieces. But if a suspect can't talk, they ain't much good. Once he's locked up in a cell, we're gonna have a little chat.
9 years ago? Then you must be...
Yeah, you finally figured it out, dumbass.
Ace, you killed Kubota, Nijisaki, and Musashido, didn't you?
Wait, Nijisaki?
Oh, right. You don't know yet. All right. We'll just go through them in order then. Let's start off with Kubota. You talked to Kubota and managed to convince him to go into door 5 alone. You killed him without making it look like you killed him. The way I figure it, you had 4 motives.
Okay, I can't wait to hear them all again.
1. In the Nonary game, the number 9 is dangerous. Whoever had the 9 bracelet could join whatever team they wanted. Adding 9 to any number doesn't change the digital route, which means that number 9 could do whatever they wanted. You wanted to remove that threat as soon as possible. 2. You wanted the number 9 bracelet for yourself, so that you could make use of its power.
See, this is what I mean. Like, we've already heard this before.
In fact, you did use it in the murder of Nijisaki.
We had to hear this to get to the true ending.
3. Even if his number hadn't been 9, Kubota was a problem. He knew your past. He knew what had happened 9 years before. You needed to silence him before he told anyone. 4. But last, and perhaps the most disturbing, you convinced him to break the rules so you could see what would happen. That was why you killed Kubota. But he was only the first. Next was Nijisaki. While everyone was off looking for the missing parts for the Reds, you ran into Nijisaki near the big hospital room. However, because of your prosopagnosia, you didn't realize he was Nijisaki, chiefly because, when you met him, he was dressed like Snake. That was why you thought Nijisaki was Snake.
No, that's not... That was Nijisaki? Why?
I'll get to that. Anyway, you thought he was Snake. Snake was one of the kids in your experiment 9 years ago. You remembered him because he was the blind kid, but his presence made you think. Snake was one of my subjects 9 years ago. He probably hates me. But if that's true, why isn't he saying anything? Is he keeping quiet because he can't see? Or perhaps he's working with Zero to get revenge on me. Whatever the reason, anyone who knows my past is a threat. Before he tries anything, I need to get rid of him. That was when you decided you had to kill him. The murder weapon was Kubota's bracelet. You just waved it over the red. Verified your own number and then grabbed Nijisaki's arm and forced it over the scanner panel. Then, when the door opened, you kicked him in.
I just don't get it, right? Like, from a purely storytelling perspective, this is like a big reveal moment. Like, this is played up to be the big reveal, but you have to get the Zero Lost ending to get the true ending. It is required that you see that ending, and now I'm pretty sure I know why, because, alternate timeline, But if that is required, why are they going to the trouble to explain all this again?
9 seconds later, the door closed. And then 81 seconds passed. And poor Nijisaki was dead.
And you mean to say Snake is still alive?
Sorry to disappoint you, but I'm as good as new. Thank you for killing the wrong man. But I can't say I like knowing that you wanted me dead. Although, to be honest, even if you hadn't tried to kill me, I would still hate you very much.
Well,
I wouldn't blame you.
Last but not least, let's talk about Musashido's death. When Clover and I were investigating the chart room, you came over to talk to me. Do you remember what you said?
Oh, a pocket watch. Might I take a look at it?
I handed it to you, and you left the room. You had been in charge of the Nonary project. Of course, you would have known the solution to every puzzle, which would mean all you had to do was place the watch in the indentation on the door to unlock it. With the door open, you could enter the captain's quarters. Musashido was there. Conveniently placed next to him was an axe that practically begged you to kill him with it. You picked up that axe and buried the blade deep in the other man's chest. One blow was all it took, and then you returned to the chart room as if nothing had happened.
There was something I wanted to speak with you about, Junpei. Could you come with me for a moment?
I had no reason to say no, so I followed you to the wheelhouse. When we stepped inside, remember how you slipped your hand into my vest? You pulled out a piece of paper, the one I used to cheat during the vote. But that wasn't really what you were after. Your true purpose had been to slip the watch into my pocket. It wasn't a... You must have been desperate, but what made you willing to risk it all to do it? Ace, Musashido's murder is the only one I don't understand. You obviously did it, but why?
Because of this.
What's with the paper?
Just read it.
Let's see. Number 1. There are 2 ways you might survive this ordeal. The first is to win the Nonary Game. The second is for you to confess your sins of 9 years past. I have prepared a camera in the captain's quarters. The images captured by that camera will be streamed through a satellite and distributed across the world. Simply look into the camera and repent. Once you have confessed everything, I will release you from this ship. To make your confession more credible, I have left you a witness in the captain's quarters. Perhaps he will confess with you. The decision is yours. Do as you please. 0.
When I awoke in that room on D-Deck, I found that in my pocket. That was why I chose door 1 when we voted. If I went through that door, I knew I could get to the captain's quarters. As you said, I knew how to enter the wheelhouse. My plan was to find the pocket watch before anyone else. If I could, then my alibi would be set. At least, that was the plan. Unfortunately for me, you got to it first. That sleight of hand was the best I could manage on short notice.
You meant to kill him from the beginning then? Musashido, I mean.
I only knew Musashido was the witness after I reached the captain's quarters. I asked him, and he answered. He seemed groggy. Perhaps he had only just awoken from sedation. I suppose Nijisaki was in much the same state. He seemed confused and disoriented when I encountered him. But yes, you are correct. I intended to kill him from the beginning, even though I didn't know who he was. I proceeded to the captain's quarters in order to remove this so-called witness.
Ace, you were being manipulated.
Yes, so it would seem. I was little more than a puppet, in many ways. Everywhere I went, everything was already prepared. The Reds in the large hospital room were dismantled. Nijisaki was dressed like Snake. There was an axe in the captain's quarters. Musashido was delirious from the anesthetic, so he couldn't fight back. Nijisaki as well. In retrospect, I can't understand how I could have fallen into such a simple trap. But yes, this was a trap. It was Zero's trap. And I fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. I did everything he wanted me to do.
Yeah. By manipulating you, Zero was able to kill 3 people and keep the blood off his own hands. All of this was revenge for what happened 9 years ago. That's why this Nonary Game happened. Am I right, Santa?
Huh? What the hell are you talking about?
Ain't no point trying to play dumb anymore, Santa. Actually, I guess I should call you Aoi Kurashiki, huh? My memory came back to me, kid. You're Aoi Kurashiki. No doubt about it. Never thought I'd be back in this room talking to you. But hey, I guess this was all part of your plan, right? After all, the person who planned the Nonary Game this time around was Zero, and Zero's you.
Looks like you really do have your memories back, huh? Well, I guess there's no point in hiding it then, huh? Yeah, you got me. I'm Aoi Kurashiki. I was one of the kids in the Nonary Game 9 years ago. I made it out. So did Snake over there. But there's one thing... No, I guess there's two things you got wrong. Number one, I ain't Zero.
What?
Wait, what?
Sure, I was helping Zero out, but I'm really more of an assistant. Like a secretary. But an assistant's only an assistant. I didn't come up with all this. All I did was follow Zero's orders.
Then, if you're not Zero, who is?
Calm down there, Junpei. Didn't I say two things? You made one more mistake. Junpei, you just said all of this was revenge for what happened 9 years ago. That's why this Nonary game happened. But that's not it. Revenge isn't the only purpose. There's another reason you guys were playing the Nonary game. To save someone.
Save someone?
Right. You were brought here to help my sister, to save Akane.
What the hell are you talking about? Akane Kurashiki died 9 years ago in this room. I was there. I saw... What? What the hell? Where is she? Where's Akane Kurashiki? Ugh! Oh, my head! My head, it feels like it's gonna pop.
7! What the hell is going on?
I don't know. I just... Oh! I swear to God, my head feels like it's about to explode!
What was the Nonary Project? I'm sure you know already, but I'll tell you one more time. It was a project designed to test a particular phenomenon. And what was that phenomenon? For two organisms to communicate with one another in the absence of physical contact. The morphogenetic field theory. Could human beings use these invisible fields to exchange information? That was what this experiment was conducted to determine. There were two separate locations. One was the Gigantic, and the other was a building in Nevada called Building Q. The 9 children trapped in Building Q were faced with numerous puzzles. Copies of identical ones on the Gigantic. The transmitters were put in Building Q, and the receivers were put on the Gigantic. Each sibling pair was supposed to be split up, but there was a mistake. Akane was a transmitter. She should have been in Building Q. However, for some reason, she was placed on the Gigantic with the receivers, like me. Perhaps she was mistaken for someone who was supposed to be in Group A. Whatever the case, Akane ended up on the Gigantic. I think I've told you enough. You get it, don't you? I'm pretty sure you know where this is going, Junpei.
Where what is going?
Don't play dumb. You know things you shouldn't. Things you couldn't. How did you know Ace had prosopagnosia? How did you know why Ace wanted to kill Kubota and how Nijisaki was killed?
We're building to it.
Were you surprised when you found out Ace was homegrown?
We're building to it.
And what about the coffin Snake was trapped in? How the hell did you open it?
We're building up to it.
Well, that's...
He knew because I knew. Junpei was receiving information that I sent to him through the morphic field set. It's simple, really. How do I know the alternate futures, then? Imagine a river that splits into like an upside-down Y. The river flows from the top to the bottom from a single stream into 2 branches. It only flows in one direction, but it can never flow backward. Information is the same way. It moves from the past to the future, but never flows backward. That's why people at the river source in the past will never know about those downstream in the future. But the people downstream will never know about one another either. Information only flows along the path of the river, but I am different. I can manipulate the morphic field set to pluck knowledge from the future. I know what happens on either fork of the river, even though the people on either fork know nothing about one another. Now, who am I? I am I, the 9th letter of the alphabet. What?! What?! What? But I am also 0. No, that's not true. I'm not really 0. Not yet. Perhaps you could say I am less than 0. 0 is my future. In 9 years, I will be 0. Ow. Ow again. Where did she go? June. No, Akane. Where did you go?
Santa!
Wise Clover. Oh shit.
Freeze.
How did you let that happen? How? You people are so stupid. How did none of you see this happen? Yes, you picked it up when we weren't watching. Why wouldn't you? Was that not the first? It's like he's turning the tables on Ace, though. Wonder how he likes having a gun. Well, it's hard to turn the tables on someone who's already in a down but not out state.
Get up.
Sure isn't about to take that gun off him for a minute, is he? Ace isn't putting up any kind of fight. I mean, I don't think I would either, but he just looks drained. I guess he's going for the door, huh? He doesn't need to verify to go through that door, but...
Hey, what's your plan, Santa? What are you doing?
He can't get through any numbered doors with just 2 people. What the hell's he thinking?
Didn't I tell you? I'm Santa Claus. It's time for me to go make a wish come true.
That's it? That's all he's gonna give us? What the hell does it even mean? Shit, they're out. Oh, okay! Sure! And now the gate's shut. Looks like the rest of us are stuck in here. They're all looking at me. At least Seven's headache is gone. He seems to be alright. Well, I guess there's no harm in trying. Let's see if this door still opens.
Damn. Well, it looks like this door isn't opening anytime
My
soon.
brain. I can't. Okay, so... Oh, my God. So I was right. Not that it didn't require any brain power. Any idiot could have figured it out. They're gonna use the alternate timeline thing to explain the code and all the other bullshit that Junpei knows. But oh boy, this is honestly at this point the only thing that I'm interested in finding out is how in the hell Akane managed to survive, because everything else is just they can talk to each other through the field, so it's just like I just want to know how the hell she survived. And also, where the hell did she go?
Oh, you mean we're trapped?
So it would seem.
What the hell is Santa trying to do?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, what?
Have you considered where we are? There can really only be one thing Santa would do now.
No. No, you can't be serious.
Oh, but he is. We gotta do something. Maybe we can still get out through door 9. There's still the red. Yeah, alright, we can do this. I just gotta... No, it's not gonna work. There's no way. The 5 of us can't open the store. 2 + 4 = 5. Yep.
Junpei, can I borrow your pen and notebook?
Sure, why not? I don't think I'm gonna need them. Ever again. Well, she certainly looks purposeful. Looks like she's writing equations, a lot of them. Huh? I mean, she doesn't look very happy. What? Hey, no need to be ripping pages out like that. Jeez.
What the hell are you doing, Clover? Give me that!
Also, why are you not speaking anymore? Why are you only thinking? Maybe now I can get a look at what she was writing. Let's see.
What?
And there's no other way?
Lotus. Looks like she'd figured it out, though. Man, this is just too cruel.
It's okay. Go.
No!
Lotus.
Come on, you know we can't do that.
Oh, don't give me that. I'm sure you'd love to get rid of me.
If you had asked me 16 episodes ago, yes, I would've. But now, no!
God damn it, you idiot!
Where the hell did that come from? Can you not speak anymore? Looks like she expected that as much as I did.
If you're not... Look, it'd be bad, alright?
For a cop, he doesn't have much confidence.
Dad?
Yeah, if there weren't assholes like you around, I'd be out of a job.
Uh-huh.
Look, I'm just not leaving you behind, alright? End of story.
Where the hell did this come from?
7.
He's right. I'm not leaving you either.
He speaks!
Me too.
You didn't honestly think I'd abandon you, did you?
You're all idiots.
Act as tough as you want, Lotus. We can all see you're about to cry.
That being said, however, I doubt we would be able to open the door anyway, even if we were to leave Lotus behind.
Huh?
I trust you remember what happened to Ace? I couldn't, see exactly what happened. I was able to guess what he was attempting to do earlier, at the red.
Oh, yeah.
No! What is this? Why? The digital route should be 9! It has to be 9! Then why? Why isn't it opening?
Just to see. Why don't we give it a shot?
Give it a shot.
Yes, that is what I said.
I have no idea what's happening anymore. Also, if his plan was really to burn us to death, then why the hell hasn't he done it yet? Like, it's taking him a long-ass time.
Right.
It ain't opening.
Check
But
the
it did
vent.
open 9 years ago. The digital route was 9 then, I'm sure of it.
Check the
I
vent.
think maybe they changed the settings?
Perhaps.
If we can't get through the doors, we can't get out. The walls are way too high, there's no way in hell we could get to the whole 7 pot out of 9 years ago. All we can do is stand here and stare at this door with the 9 on it. I guess this is it. This is the end. It's obviously not. Ow. What? Akane vision? What? What? Wait. Wait. So, half of my brain right now wants to laugh uncontrollably at the fact that it says Akane Vision at the top of the screen. The other half is like, what? I had watched everything that was reflected in his eyes. I was listening. Every sound that vibrated in his eardrums I heard. Smell, taste, touch, I felt everything he felt. I knew everything about him. What he was thinking, what he was feeling, what he was sensing. All his feelings and worries and fears became mine. My mind, my consciousness was inside of him. Through the morphic fields that we were resonant and we were as one. I was him and at the same time I was an observer. It started with a tremendous noise like a clap of thunder. That was approximately 9 hours ago. A bomb had gone off on the ship we were on. So wait, what happens if I hit this? Oh, I can't, okay. So that was when my resonance with him began. My resonant event melted into him and we became one. Instead of Junpei, somehow I found myself in Junpei's mind 9 years in the future. But I didn't lose myself. I was living in two realities at once. One was the present and the other was the future. Perhaps you can think of it as two movies showing on the same screen at the same time. Eventually it becomes difficult to separate them and determine which movie is which. However, if I concentrated, I was able to focus on one or the other. That was why I was able to grasp what was happening in front of me.
Come on, over here!
That was my brother. He was yelling. I followed him. Around me were 7 other children. They all looked like they were about my age.
Come on, hurry up!
We ran down a long straight hallway and burst into the large hospital room. What the fuck is going on? Everyone was arguing. 2 of the boys got into a fist fight. A girl watching them began to cry. I want to go home, she cried, I want to go home. Another girl slapped the crying girl and glared down at her. It had been 2 hours since the Nonary Game began. We were starting to fall apart. But just when all hope seemed lost, Light started talking. He was blind. 9 years later, we would call him Snake.
Hello? Everyone? Could you come over here for a moment?
He was older than most of us and his voice had authority and dignity. The fights died down and we gathered around him.
I have a little sister. She is very important to me. Right now, she is over in Building Q and is desperately trying to send information over to me. Her name is Clover, and today is her 9th birthday.
Oh my god, it's all the number 9. As he spoke, he pulled something from his pocket. In his hand were not 9 4-leaf clovers.
I was going to give these to her as a birthday present. I was outside picking them when I was abducted. I'm sure I've already told you, but I am blind. For a man who can't see, collecting 9 of a very specific plant is, well, it is difficult. But my sister means a great deal to me. And I hope that these would show her how much since it's her 9th birthday, I thought 9 4-leaf clovers would be appropriate. Every one of you has a brother or a sister in Building Q with Clover. For their sake, we have to survive. We have to get off this ship. Do you understand? If we're going to do that, there are 3 things you have to remember. We need trust and love, and we have to have faith in one another. If we can take all 3 of those to heart, then I promise that good luck will come our way. Did you know that the leaves on the 4-leaf clover mean faith, trust, love, and luck? Those words are leaf words. So if you believe what I've told you, and you understand, then I want you each to have one of these. They're a promise between friends.
He gave a clover to each of us. I took one too. Eventually he was left with only a single 4-leaf clover. He had one last thing to say.
Never forget, so long as you have that, we will always be connected. Do you understand?
When he's finished, the tension of only a few minutes before was gone. We were calm. After that, we ran around the ship for a while longer and opened several of the numbered doors until we finally found the door with the number 9 on it. In fact, there were 2 doors with 9 on them, and we found them in the chapel. We split into 2 groups and walked through the doors. Okay, we're finally gonna find out what happened to her. Because holy shit, before long we all found ourselves in a room with a ceiling that looked like an upside down funnel. For some reason this room had another number 9, but this time was the only one. But if there was only one door, that meant that only 5 people could escape.
What are we gonna do? There aren't any other doors.
We began to panic. Then, as if things had not gotten bad enough already,
Warning, warning. Emergency incineration command has been acknowledged. evacuate the incinerator immediately. Repeat, emergency incineration command has been acknowledged.
What? What's happening? What did that thing say? That didn't sound good.
My brother swallowed hard and
I
answered.
think it means this room is gonna burn.
Burn!
The plaque on the door says incinerator, and that voice said that the incineration is about to start. And incinerate means to burn.
By the way, I've been holding off on making this joke for a really long time, but Santa's voice sounds a lot like Silver's voice from Sonic the Hedgehog. Just something I wanted to point out.
No! Help me!
Like, I don't mean to say it's the same voice actor, but I just like, you know, silver hair and all that. It's a dumb joke, whatever. Abject terror filled the room as everyone began to scream and cry. Every pair of eyes were filled with despair. Then, high up on the wall, a door opened and a man appeared. He was a huge, frightening mountain of a man and as large as a bear. 9 years later, we would call him
Don't
Seven.
worry, kids. I'm not your enemy. I'm one of the good guys. I'm a detective. I'm here to rescue you.
The rest happened just like Seven had said it did. The four of us who had stayed behind were saved by Seven. We crawled through the vent away from the incinerator and slid down into the hall. We came out on the other side of door 9. On the wall opposite the door was a set of double doors. We went through the zones and began to run up the spiral stairs. As we ran, I led the way. Behind me were Nona, my brother, Snake, and Seven. The other children, the ones who'd gone through door 9 before us, were up ahead. I could hear them cheering each other on. We ran and ran and ran. We leapt across as many stairs as we could and kept running. The stairs spiraled upward like a tornado. Eventually, I pulled ahead of the rest. Perhaps Nona had slowed them down. I didn't want to lose them, so I slowed down as well. I didn't stop, but I glanced over my shoulder from time to time to see if they had caught up. That was when I realized.
Oh, where is it? Did I drop Junpei's present?
I knew I had it with me when we passed through the vent. Then had I dropped it as we slid out? I had to go back, I had to, but I knew I couldn't tell the others. They would stop me, I was sure of that. I didn't stop to think, I simply moved. I ran to the central hall, the room that connected to all the other areas of the ship. I hid in the shadows, and moments later I felt a rush of wind as they ran past me up the staircase. I waited until they were out of sight, and then I ran. I moved as quietly as I could, down and down and down. Finally, I reached the bottom deck. I ran into the hallway and looked around frantically.
There it is!
It was just where I thought it would be, sitting under the opening of the vent. I ran over and snatched it from the floor, but as I ran back towards the stairs and to freedom, the door to the incinerator opened and a man stepped out. It was Hungo. 9 years later, we would call him Ace.
How wonderful to see you decided to come back.
His smile made my blood run cold. It looked mechanical, as if someone had simply pulled up the corners of his mouth.
Come with me. We must continue the experiment.
I shook my head, eyes wide. Slowly, I began to walk backwards. 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps. Then I spun around and broke into a run. I felt his hand close over my left wrist.
I said, come with me.
There was an edge of insanity to his voice now. I pulled as hard as I could.
No! Stop! Let go of me! Let go!
I shook my body and flailed my arms, trying desperately to get Hungo to let go of me. But I was still only a child. I was no match for a man like Hungo.
Stop struggling, goddammit! Do as I tell you!
He heaved on my arm, trying to pull me into the incinerator. I screamed.
Help me! Somebody help me!
Then, suddenly,
Akane!
the door to the stairs flew open, and my brother burst out of it. Behind him came Seven and Snake. He cried my name again as he leapt toward Hungo.
You came back!
Ah! You're too late, idiot!
Hungo threw his full weight against my arm, pulling us both into the incinerator.
Ah!
The force of it threw me to the floor. I scrambled to my feet and looked toward the open number 9 door. Hungo stood between it and me, but behind him I could see my brother, his fists clenched. But those fists never reached Hungo. With the cold, heartless screech of metal on metal, the door slammed shut. Hungo glanced at me mechanically, his face registering that there was an object there, but not anything he would consider a human being. Then he turned away and walked to the red that sat next to the door. He reached into his pocket and removed 2 bracelets. He waved them both over the scanner panel. 2 asterisks appeared on the red. He checked the screen, then tossed the bracelets carelessly onto the floor. What was he doing? What was the point? He made no effort to explain himself, of course. He said nothing at all and walked past me as though I were nothing more than a rock by the roadside. A few moments later... the 2 other doors slid shut as well. Faintly, I could hear someone pounding on the door behind me. I turned around and ran toward the door with the 9.
Akane! Akane! Are you okay?
I could hear a voice from the other side of the door, a worried, frightened voice.
Help me!
My throat was already raw, but I screamed as loud as I could. My voice echoed lonely around the empty room.
What should I do? I think I'm trapped in here.
Where's Hongo?
He went out the other door.
What?
Then it started again.
Warning. Warning. Emergency incineration command has been acknowledged. Incineration will begin in 18 minutes. Please evacuate the incinerator immediately.
Man, I knew what it was gonna say, but that is one hell of a creepy voice.
I knew it.
It's starting.
Santa started the incinerator.
Fuck! Man, I never thought I'd hear that damn voice again after 9 years.
What the hell? What the hell? What in God's name are you talking about? It's...
I'm sorry, Lotus, but we really don't have time to explain it right now. I promise. I'll tell you everything once we get out of here.
But...
Incineration will begin in...
Wait, can I F***ing Junpei vision. Oh my god. This game needs to start making sense right goddamn now.
17 minutes.
You know what that means, right? Incinerate means burn!
Yes, we know what words mean.
What kind of idiot do you think I am? I know what incinerate means. Well, god damn it! Okay, I won't ask anything else. Talk about whatever you want. But you have to do something for me. 7, figure this out.
You picked 7 to figure something out? Oh, oof, you're screwed.
What? Why me?
Just shut up and stop this thing!
How the hell?
There has to be some sort of emergency shut-off button.
There isn't anything like that.
How the hell do you know?
Because I looked for it 9 years ago.
Yeah, Lotus isn't happy about that. Can't really blame her. Wait. The floor, it's moving. What? What? What else can I say about it
What
but...
the hell is that?
What is that? What is that?
What else could I say? The floor opened and a machine rose up out of it. It looked like a computer. At least it kinda did. There was a monitor, a keyboard, and a cross-shaped device of some kind. Something about the machine scared me, but I forced myself to walk up to it. I was terrified. Tears poured down my face. Wiped them off, even as more took place, and forced myself forward. Finally, I reached it. I looked at the screen. It was blank. All I saw were my own frightened face staring back at me from the glass, drenched in tears. All I can see on the screen is a reflection of my own face. I'm looking kind of freaked out. I know I'm sweating like crazy, but seeing it kind of drives it home. Okay, Junpei, just calm down, alright? Everything's gonna be okay. Man, I wish that thing would just shut up.
Incineration will begin in 15 minutes.
Alright, back to this thing. If it's only showing up now, it's gotta be important. But what the hell am I supposed to do with it?
Hey, move!
Hey, we're all tense, lady. That doesn't mean you get to shove people around.
It's turned on. There's nothing on the screen, though. Oh, this is bad. This is really bad. If there's nothing on here, how are we supposed to do anything with it?
Sure, I'll just push buttons. I'm sure that'll... What? Well, at least it's on now. What's on the screen, though?
What is this?
What's up?
It looks like some sort of puzzle.
It's got a bunch of numbers and letters scattered across a 5x5 grid. The numbers range from 1 to 8.
Do you think that if we solve this puzzle...
Password! Password! That's what it is! Okay! There's P-A-S-S-W-O-R-D. The words to make password, and then 1, 2, 3... Okay. That's what it is. Okay. So we just have to switch the letters around, right? To spell password.
The incinerator will stop? Yeah. Well, we can hope, right?
Alright, puzzle, how do you work? Man, that goddamn voice again.
Incineration will begin in 13 minutes.
Shit, 13 minutes. Can we really do this? My heart feels like it's gonna pop. My heart was pounding like it was about to explode. I stared at the puzzle on the screen. I was sure I had to solve it somehow, but I had no idea how. My connection to Junpei had been gone for a while. His mind was gone. I couldn't get any more information from him. I felt the seconds tick by as I stared at the screen, completely lost. What is... Okay, so... Obviously she got out of there thanks to this puzzle. We know that now. And they're linked... Okay... But, like, how did she... Where's she now? Like, she was in this room a second ago. Where did she... This game needs to start making sense. My cheeks felt hot as tears poured over them. Then I heard a voice.
Hey, what are you doing?
It was muffled. I turned around. Pressed against the window in the entry door was a face. A frightening, evil face. It was Hungo. How long had he been watching me?
Don't know what to do?
He was yelling, but his voice was still muffled.
Simple, really. But I suppose I might as well tell you. Just solve the puzzle on that machine.
His laughter was muffled by the door, but it still tore my heart like the claws of a vicious monster. I bit my lip and glared at Hungo, struggling to hold back the hot tears.
You're a terrible person! I hate you!
Oh my! How could you call a gentleman such as myself a terrible person? That's not very nice. I'm quite fair. I don't use tricks or play dirty, you see? I've even left you a way out.
A way out?
Didn't you hear me? All you have to do is solve that puzzle. Do that, and you can stop the incinerator.
What's the point of stopping it? You'll only capture me and make me do this all again. I'm not going to listen to you. If you're just going to throw me back in here, I might as well just die now.
My goodness, haven't you listened to anything I've said? I told you, I'm a fair man.
Huh?
If you solve the puzzle, the verification function of the red will in turn activate. If this experiment is to deliver valid results, there must be a chance of success. If you succeed, you will escape.
The verification function of the red?
Then I remembered. Before Hungo left the room, he had scanned 2 bracelets into the red.
Ah, so you do remember. Right now there are 2 numbers in the red. The first is 1, and the second is 3. Say, Akane, what's your number?
I looked down at my left hand. Face on my bracelet showed a 5. 1 plus 3 plus 5 equals 9. I ran to the door with the 9 on it. I grabbed the red and put my hand against the scanner panel.
You really aren't one for listening, are you?
I hear Hungo's muffled voice from across the room.
I've already told you, didn't I? Once you solve the puzzle...
Yes, I get it. Let me solve the... I know what to do. Just let me solve the puzzle.
If you haven't solved the puzzle, you can't enter your number.
I know what to do. Just let me do it.
Why are you doing
Because
this?
he's a piece of shit. Next question. You could never...
never understand. You don't know what it's like to spend every day surrounded by monkeys. Now start the experiment. Solve the puzzle.
I've been trying to.
I can't. I don't know how.
Of course you don't. Isn't that the point? You understand, don't you? Access the morphogenetic field and find the solution. Then you'll die. You'll burn alive. It's gonna be quite hot in there in a few minutes. I imagine it will be very painful.
You're such a sack of shit. His horrible laugh echoed across the room, and even after his face disappeared from the window, I could hear it.
Incineration will begin in 10 minutes.
That's plenty of time. I can solve it in way less than that. I was crying, great gulping sobs broken by hiccups that shook my body. I was terrified. I could feel my fear pressing down on me like a tremendous weight. Somehow I forced my shaking legs to carry me back to the device. I stared at the monitor.
I can't. I just can't. There's no way. I can't figure this out.
What was I going to do? I didn't know. I didn't even know where to start. Fear scattered my thoughts, and all I could do was think of how I was going to die. My palms were sweating and my blood was boiling in my veins. It was hot. So hot. I couldn't breathe. I felt dizzy. My heart roared in my chest as it would pound itself to pieces. Just spell password. I reached into my pocket. I wrapped my hand around the thing I'd come back to get. The doll Junpei had given me. At least I had that. I held it tight with both hands and prayed.
Help me, Junpei! Help me! Help me! Junpei! Please! Help! Junpei!
Akane?
Akane!
Who the hell is Akane?
Shut up! Just shut the hell up!
Seven and Lotus don't understand. I think Clover and Snake have an idea, though. Clover's looking at me, and I think Snake may have figured it out. No, it doesn't matter. They're in my way. Where'd she go? Maybe over here.
Akane! Akane! Can you hear me? Akane! Say something!
Did something break our connection? I swear I just heard her.
Akane! Answer me! Akane!
Junpei?
I spun around. I heard a voice. His voice. I looked around. He wasn't in the room, of course, but I heard it so clearly, like he was right there. I screamed as loud as I could.
Akane!
Junpei!
That's her. She's there. This goddamn game. Then that means...
Akane! Akane!
Are you in an incinerator right now?
Yes, I am! How did you know?
I couldn't believe that he knew that. Now I understand what Santa meant.
There's only one way to help her. You were brought here to help my sister. To save Akane.
Incineration will begin in 7 minutes.
Junpei, we don't have time!
As quick as I could, okay. My head is spinning. Wow. So, that's the twist. That Santa brought him here so that he could communicate with her in the past to give her the answer to solve the puzzle. Wow.
Got it!
And I do. I get everything now. At last, I finally understand what all this means. I know why the Nonary Game was held today. I know why we were kidnapped and brought here. It was all for this moment. All of this was planned out to lead to this one moment. Oh my god. This is insane. I can't believe it, but there's only one possible answer. Zero is Akane Kurashiki. She recreated the history of the future that she had a glimpse of 9 years ago. She tried to save herself that way 9 years ago. No, she's trying to save herself right now. That means there's only one thing for me to do. Even if this is all some sort of insane plan, I will save her. I will save Akane Kurashiki. I must save her no matter what.
Incineration will begin in 6 minutes.
The voice reminded me of how much time I had left.
Yeah, I know. Just hang on, alright? I promise I'll get you out of there. I'm not gonna let you die. I promise. So don't worry, alright? Just give me a few minutes, okay?
Okay.
My voice shook as I answered. It was hot in the room. It felt like my heart was on fire. 6 minutes and not my heart burned with my feelings for him. Alright, time to get to work, Junpei. Or Junpei. Is Snake talking to them about something? Whatever, doesn't matter. Get out of my way.
Hey, what are you...
Just trust me, okay?
Sorry, Lotus, I didn't mean to snap, but there's a lot more stake here than your pride. I'll apologize later, alright? Now, let's have a look at this thing. We've got numbers all over this grid. I think the panels are out of order, so I just need to switch these out. Staring at it isn't going to accomplish anything. I just have to try it.
Just think of what I did all those times before. I'm gonna do this on my own, with my own mind. I'm gonna solve this problem.
Okay, here we go. So, the last fucking, oh my god, this game. Okay, I'll think about it all later. Right now, switch it with this. 3 needs to be swapped with another S, swap there. And then this needs to be swapped with a W, and this needs to swap with an R, and there we go. There's the word password. Perfect. Why is 9 flashing? Why? Why is 9 flashing? Success. Okay, great, but, I need to press 9 on the keyboard. Please enter. That's gotta be it. That's gotta be it. I have to press 9, right? Maybe, did that work? Did I? Oh, it's here. 9. That's gotta be it, right? Yes! Okay. 2 plus 4 plus 5 plus 7 plus 8.
Yes, that's it. Akane, did you get it?
Yes, I did! I solved it! I mean, really, you solved it for me, but I copied everything you did. Now I just have to press enter.
Then what the hell are you waiting for? Push it!
Okay, I will.
I hit the enter key.
Emergency shutdown command has been confirmed. Incineration system has been disabled.
It shut down. It worked.
Tears rolled down my face as I cried out to him, but they were very different sort of tears. A wonderful feeling of accomplishment and relief flooded my body. At the same time, what strength I'd had left disappeared and I collapsed to the floor. For a while I just lay there, laughing and crying and enjoying being alive. Every time I thought about him, I thought my heart would burst. This game. Whew. I can't quite believe I did that, but I am so glad, so glad. I feel like my heart's on fire. No, I don't have time to be thinking about that kind of shit. I need to tell Akane.
Akane! Sorry, but things are kind of busy over here. I'm gonna have to hang up now, okay?
Oh, of course, that's fine.
I wiped the tears from my eyes and nodded vigorously, even though I knew he couldn't see me. Then I looked over at the corner of the floor. There were the 2 bracelets Hongo had left behind.
Now.
Well, Seven and Lotus don't look particularly happy with me. Not a very nice look to give someone who just saved your lives, guys.
Junpei, are you...
Okay?
Shut it.
Right, okay, so maybe they have a reason to be pissed off. So what if I haven't pressed the enter key yet? Alright, nothing holding me back now. Here goes. Wait.
Incineration will begin in 90 seconds.
What?
It doesn't sound like it's stopping.
What?
What the shit? Why isn't it stopping?
But we solved it! Okay, maybe I didn't hit the key hard enough. Just hit it again, and again, and again. Okay, that's not working either. The alarm's still going off. But we solved it, though! I've got all the right numbers in the right box. It's perfect. So why isn't this thing stopping?
Incineration will begin in 60 seconds.
What? Wait, of course. That's what the numbers that showed up after the puzzle meant. 2 plus 4 plus 5 plus 7 plus 8. Snake, Clover, me, and 7 Lotus. Then, door 9. No, that's it. That number on the door isn't a 9. Oh, it's a Q! It's a Q!
It's hidden, but an exit can
Because it's
Seek a way
alphanumerics.
out. Seek a door
It's
that-
because that adds up to. That's really clever. That is super smart.
Incineration will begin in 30 seconds.
Run, guys! Get to the door! Run!
I sure hope that you can just trust me. Okay, alright, no time to explain, just go.
Verify your numbers on the red.
Verify?
Who?
What combination?
All of us! We all need to verify!
Why?
Why are you asking questions? Just fucking do it!
Just do it!
You idiots! Just.
Incineration will begin.
You will burn in 60 seconds if you do. What are you doing?
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Central gate has been opened. Incineration system has been disabled.
No time to be happy. Time to go.
Hurry! We've only got 9 seconds before the door closes. Go, go, go!
Come on, guys, move it. Okay, they're all through. Move it, Junpei. Just in time. Okay, but where's Akane? How did she get out of the room? What's... You haven't answered everything yet. That was a really creative twist, but you still have not answered everything. And there goes the door. No, calm down, you're not done. We still gotta find the dead.
Shit. Looks like we made it, huh?
Man, that guy sure can laugh when he wants to. Looks like Clover and Lotus are totally out of energy. Snake is shaking his head warily. I just want to take a nap,
Akane? Akane! Can you hear me? Akane!
I want to tell her we made it. I want to tell her how good I feel. But nothing. The door opened. Standing in front of it was my brother.
Akane!
I cried his name, even though my voice was almost gone from screaming, and leapt it into his arms.
Oh, Aoi!
Akane!
I buried my face in his chest and cried again. I cried and cried and cried. The steady thump of his heart in my ear made me feel like I was home. Its beat was almost like a lullaby. I wrapped my arms around him as far as they would go and held him as tight as I could. Just to be there felt like a miracle. I hadn't felt the warmth of another human body in what had seemed like an eternity. I just wanted to stay there in his arms forever, but I couldn't. The moment I'd passed through the door, my bracelets had begun to count down to death. I leapt away from him and looked around. The door had already closed. I spotted the dead only a short distance away. It took me only a moment to get to and scan all the bracelets. I left the ones Hungo had dropped on the scanner panel. That was it. I took a deep breath and looked around again. The huge detective who we call 7 in 9 years and Snake, the blind boy who were looking at me. They seemed to have been utterly stunned by my sudden appearance. Their eyes were wide and their mouths hung open.
Alright, let's get out of here. If we don't book it, we might run into Hongo again.
It was time to get moving. The mention of Hongo seemed to jar 7 and Snake out of the surprise and they nodded. We took off running up the spiraling stairs to freedom. Time for more running, but if they can get us out of here, no wonder we're running so hard. My heart's beating so hard I can barely hear. God, I can't wait to breathe real air again. Is 7 talking?
Hey, Junpei, can I ask you something?
What's up?
That door, the one with the 9 on it. Why'd it open?
Yeah, all 5 of us verified our numbers on the red. 2 plus 4 plus 5 plus 7 plus 8 is 26. That makes our digital route 8. It shouldn't have opened.
That's not like you, Lotus. I thought you would have figured it out already.
Huh?
Because you were the person who taught me about the idea of bases.
Bases?
Yeah. What are the 2 numbers in base 2?
0 and 1.
How about base 10?
That goes from 0 to 9, right?
And how about base 16?
0 through F. After 9, it starts at A and goes from there. B, C, D, etc.
You're right. In other words, A in base 16 is 10 in base 10. B is 11, C is 12, D is 13, and so on.
So, what about it?
You don't get it? What if we keep going with that pattern? What if you go way past base 16 all the way to base 27?
Base 27?
Yeah.
Well, the numerical digits are the same, so I guess you'd add alphabetical digits. E is 14, F is 15, G is 16,
H is 17, I is 18, J is 19,
K is 20, L is 21, M is 22.
N is 23, O is 24.
Yeah, and?
Q!
26!
And what does that mean?
There wasn't a 9 on the door.
It was a Q! A fucking lowercase?
Yep, that's pretty much it. I guess to put it another way, you could say that it was a 9 in base 10, but a Q in base 27.
My thighs are killing me. I swear any moment now I'm gonna tear a muscle. I feel like every single cell in my body is dying for air. Damn, every breath I take is a chore now. I feel like my lungs are gonna burst. Maybe just a short rest. No, can't stop. Don't have time. Come on, legs. There can't be any more of these steps left. Let's run. Run like a bullet down a rifled barrel. Like a tornado cutting through a sea of clouds. You don't have time to think of metaphors. I feel like we're running along the back of a giant coiled dragon. Finally. I can barely breathe. No, Junpei, no time to rest. Pull yourself together. You're almost there.
All right, I'm gonna open it.
Yeah.
Yes. We're finally here!
Please do.
Sure, you look like a big heavy door, but you're the only thing standing between me and my freedom. But even more important than that, you're the only thing standing between me and Akane. You're gonna open and you're gonna open now. I felt a hand on my shoulder. It was his. He gave it a small, reassuring squeeze. I was so happy I felt like I could melt. My heart was at peace, and not only because my brother and I were back together again, thanks to the huge detective, all 9 of us who had been kidnapped. We're finally able to escape from the gigantic. On the distant horizon, we could see the faint outline of the ship as it sank. It gave a thunderous roar as it finally slipped beneath the waves. Its last cry echoed out across the ocean, and then it was gone.
It's over.
Yeah.
It was over. It was finally over. Or was it? Was it really? No, that was wrong. That wasn't it at all. I was sure of it. This wasn't the end. It was only the beginning. This was only a prologue to what would happen in 9 years. Yes. Finally. Air. Damn, that sun is bright. I can barely see anything. I gotta admit, this doesn't look quite like... Wait.
No way.
You've gotta be shitting me.
What?
It can't be.
This is...
What?
This is the building in the Nevada desert.
The mock experiment building.
Oh my god. This whole time we were in building Q.
Sure enough, that's a desert out there with mountains and all around it. Hello there, sun. Boy, am I ever glad to see you. I don't think I have ever been so happy to see a sunrise. Did I just hear something fall? Right, our bracelets. I guess I've never really got a good look at the underside of one of these. Let's see what's inside you. Just a little electronic chip like in an ATM card. That's it. There's nothing else. Nothing that even looks like a detonator. There was never a detonator to begin with. Figures.
Jumpy.
Guess I must be pretty crazy about the girl if I think I'm hearing her voice in the wind. I can't progress. Is the game stuck? I can't. That better not be the end. What the f***? I see this game still does not know what to do with its musical score. I need to this game, I can't find the words. I genuinely have no, that's how this goddamn game ends. So, I don't think this game knows how time. So, let's address the elephant in the room. For as clever as it was for Junpei and Jun to have been communicating, like, through time in the same room, and for this, like, the whole reason this started in the first place was because she, Zero, and she call everyone here to make sure she'd be able to get out. But that doesn't make any sense. She died in that room, and then we saved, and then the only reason that she's still alive is because... Wait, what's happening? What?
Are you okay?
Oh, come on. This is nothing.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't look okay.
It was just before the end of elementary school. Junpei and I were sitting next to each other on a small hill looking down at the town as the sun slowly set.
How does it look then?
He was half serious and half joking. I thought about it for a minute first.
Well, let's see. It looks like you kissed a toad and got warts, but then they just kept growing and growing and growing.
What does that even mean?
Junpei grinned and...
Ow, 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 ow.
See? I told you you're not okay. You're too reckless. You can't beat 5 8th graders, Jumpy. That's crazy.
Yeah, but I couldn't just stand there. I mean, don't you think so? I had to do something.
Look at the Nevada desert go past. Wait, there's just a car there? There's just a car in the desert. It sure was nice of someone to leave it for us. Yeah, it sure was nice. Almost like it was a present, you know? Anyway, we jumped in, and now here we are screaming across the desert. Lotus is over there in the passenger seat. Snake and Seven and I are all squeezed into the back seat here. I still can't believe we let her drive.
Woohoo! This is so fun! This is so awesome! Driving is so great when there's nothing around, and there's no speed limit.
Hey, Clover, watch those bumps, all right? This car jumps even a little, and I think I'm gonna get crushed to death.
Hey, shut it. I can't help if I'm big, all right? Suck it up.
Why don't you drive, Seven?
I'm a cop. I ain't gonna break the law.
He doesn't have an international license.
Yeah, but you could have sat in the passenger seat.
Oh, hell no. There's no way I'm giving this seat up. And Clover, there's no need to slow down. The car Santa and June are in should be somewhere down this road ahead of us.
Oh, they're in a car! You just know, wait, that, why you, how are, wait, what?
Yeah, I saw some fresh tire tracks going out.
Okay, fair enough.
There's no doubt about it.
Then we've got to hurry if we want to catch them, don't we?
Sure thing.
She doesn't have to drive so fast. I didn't even think a car like this could go this fast. We're sure throwing up a lot of dust. It was a couple hours after we'd run into the junior high students. They'd been hiding in the bushes in the back of one of the hills, drenching a kitten in gasoline. The moment we saw what they were doing, Junpei ran up to them furious.
Hey! What the hell are you doing?
Then he jumped on them. He quickly scooped up the kitten and tossed it to me. I caught it and ran for the police station as fast as I could.
Help me! Officer, please! You have to come with me!
The policeman and I headed back to the hill. All we found was Junpei sprawled on the ground with her face covered in big swelling lumps.
You couldn't run away after you threw the kitty to me?
He stuck his tongue out through the hole in his mouth where a tooth had fallen out.
Yeah, I guess I could have.
Then why didn't you?
I didn't want to. I wanted to beat him up. Beat him up real good.
And you should have known that was not going to happen. Sheer numbers were not on your side there.
Because of what they were doing to the kitty.
Yeah, that too, but I think they were the ones behind those murders our first semester.
What?
Oh, you mean the bunnies.
Yeah, the bunnies.
He plucked some grass from the ground and tossed it into the
They
wind.
asked me what elementary school I was from, so I told them. And then they said they'd do the same thing to you that they did to the rabbit.
These kids are just f***ed up.
I couldn't forgive them for that, so I... Hey, there's still some stuff I don't get.
Yeah, you don't say, buddy. Of course, they probably don't know any more than I do.
Well, I guess I should say Gentaro Hongo. Why did he create the Nonary project? Anybody? Any ideas?
Why don't you ask him yourself?
Yeah, I guess I could.
He's still in the trunk, I assume?
The what? He's in the trunk. Yep, okay. That's just a thing we know. His eyes just look empty, no emotion. I mean, I guess he's in the trunk of this car, but why would he not have been taken with him in the trunk of... Okay. Because if he woke up, then he would have just gotten in the... Listen, he's just given up. I wonder if he even cares what happens to him anymore.
Were you listening to us?
Yeah, go ahead and try to pretend you weren't, you old bastard. Let's get that tape off your mouth.
Come on, I know you were. Answer me.
You could at least look at me when you talk, man.
I only wanted to see the faces. Human faces, I thought. I thought if I could gain the ability to access the morphic field set, then perhaps I could see faces.
That logic doesn't follow.
By peering into people's minds, you could understand how they were processing the expressions of others.
That's it?
Yes. If you want to put it simply.
I mean, I guess it's better than doing it all over losing a card game, but I mean...
But if you are looking, you see, the human collective consciousness...
I think that's enough out of you, pal. Time for the tape to go back on.
All right. So what's your second question?
You said there were some things you didn't get, didn't you?
Well, somebody's a little
Well,
nosy.
my next question doesn't really have anything to do with you two. This is for you, Seven. It's about the whole Alice thing.
Yeah, I forgot she even existed. There was
What's
so...
the deal with that?
There's so much else that this game has done in the past hour that I don't even know how long I've been recording for.
Well, see, 9 years ago, after I escaped from the Gigantic, I kept going after Hongo on my own, hoping I'd catch him when he finally slipped up. During the course of my investigations, I learned a lot more about the Gigantic. I also found out about Bourdain and Alice.
You're not really answering my question. Was there actually a girl who wouldn't melt at room temperature?
Sounds like he has something to say. Alright, fine, I'll let you talk, but you gotta behave.
What?
Alice doesn't exist. 9 years ago, I found Alice's coffin behind the library on the bottom deck. There was nothing in it but the root of a peculiar plant. My research determined that it was a member of the genus Mandragora, of the family Solanaceae, and was able to extract a particular alkaloid from it. I used that extract to create soapery. Its creation was a tremendous boon to my firm, and we grew rapidly.
This is gonna go on forever. Tape's going back on. The rest of my questions can wait a bit. For now, I think I'll just enjoy the ride.
Here, this is for you.
What's this?
This is a for you doll.
His name is Junpei. Junpei pulled something out of his pocket and shoved out his arm toward me. In his hand was a doll made of yarn small enough to fit in his palm.
Jumpy, are you sure it's, for you, doll?
Huh? Yeah, the lady at the shop said so, that means it's for you, right?
Are you sure it's not a voodoo doll?
Wait, what? That's... Oh, man. Oh, man.
Well, it sure looks like a voodoo doll. I mean, you do know what a voodoo doll is used for.
Yeah, I guess calling it Junpei isn't a very good idea then.
Why are you giving me this anyway? It just seems really sudden.
You know how after June, we aren't gonna get to see each other too much? I mean, we're gonna be in different schools. I just thought I'd,
Oh, okay, well, how about we call it June then?
Okay. So, I wanted to give you this.
You sound like some sort of tribal chief in a bad movie.
Yes. I, head of tribe. This doll, traditional charm of tribe. So it me. So we always...
Oh, Jumpy.
If something bad, then hold and pray. I go wherever you are. So here.
This is a very, very elaborate gift for an elementary schooler to come up with, I must admit. I reached my hand out and picked up the doll gently.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jumpy.
Before I knew it, I was crying. Tears streamed down my face and fell into June's tiny yarn body.
Jumpy, I'll never forget you, I promise.
Jumpy looked straight into my eyes and just said 5 words.
I'll never forget you either.
But you will when she goes missing and the whole world forgets about you. I don't think I forgot about that game. The sky was a beautiful crimson red as it melted down toward the horizon. The last golden rays of sunlight stretched out across the city and painted themselves across the hills. We sat, bathed in the warm light of evening, just the two of us leaning gently against one another, shoulder to shoulder. The sun set, and we still didn't leave. We watched in silence as the darkness deepened, and one by one, the lights of the town began to flicker on. You know, the constant switching back and forth is kind of annoying. I mean, I get why it has to happen, but still. There's still one thing I don't get. To be honest, it's the biggest mystery as far as I'm concerned, also the only one that's really important. It has to do with June and Akane. Is it going to be about the paradox she just created? Because, yeah, 9 years ago she died incinerated in the Gigantic. So, I'm guessing he's about to explain, so allow me to take the opportunity to explain it now. So the whole reason they were in this bullshit in the first place is because Akane died in the first place, right? Because Seven's like, they died. Everyone said she died. But in the ending, we just discovered she didn't die. She went out, she hugged Santa and all that. If that actually happened, then there would be no reason for the current events to be going on. That's a paradox. That's a time paradox. The universe should be collapsing in on itself right now. Because to simplify it, the whole reason that the reason that the current Nonary games are happening was to save Akane 9 years ago. But if Akane is saved 9 years ago, then there is no longer a reason to have current Nonary games, which means that Akane can never get saved, which means that there's now a time paradox. But she's still alive now as June. But how? Was it because I tapped into the morphic field set and saved her 9 years ago? Alright, let's say that makes some kind of insane... No, because the whole reason this happened is because she wasn't alive. If I did that, then... How do I make sense of what Seven remembers? Snake makes sense, he's blind. He couldn't have seen her body anyway. But Seven, he said he was sure he saw it. Does that mean there's some kind of historical discrepancy? Or wait, maybe that's not it at all. There is one of the logical explanations. Oh, I can't wait for you to tell me this. What you told me the truth, Seven? You look satisfied. No way. He couldn't.
Hey, look! Over there. There's somebody next to the road.
Huh? What?
No. Don't tell me. Is that f***ing Alice? This game just does not stop. The burning gaze of the Nevada sun pounded down on her head. The desert around her rippled with heat. Standing there on that shimmering plain was a woman, her arm out and her thumb up. It would not be long before Junpei realized who she was. How the f***? Yeah. Yes, please. Sure, let's save. Alright, there you go. All the endings, except the coffin ending, but apparently that's just a shorter version of the true ending, which... Oh my god. So... Hey, remember, like, 19 episodes ago when we thought that this was going to be a game about people locked in a escape room challenge and then they had to escape? And it wasn't about people communicating through the ether to give each other solutions to puzzles, which then would be used to what this all boils down to, ultimately, this is the biggest thing, is June. And the fact that, okay, well, actually, no, before we do that, let's talk about Alice. What the hell is going on with her? How did, okay, the whole Ice 9 thing, literally, you could cut that out of the game entirely and it would change nothing. I'm not even kidding. Except for that one little bit at the end where she's standing there hitchhiking. Nothing about this story changes if you remove Ice 9 from the game and if you remove the backstory about Alice. Nothing. Absolutely nothing changes if you remove that. I don't even know. So then, now we talk about the big thing, which is June. So, let me break down this chain of events, because this is, like, wow. So, she was one of the 2 people that were cut out of the thing, right? Because there were 2 people out of the 18 that didn't make it. That's why the news said 16. But this doesn't make any sense anymore, because I already said out of the gate, it doesn't make any sense, because they would literally have to have no job, no friends, no family, no social connections of any kind. They would have to not exist at all. We know now that that is not true because June was, like, best friends, essentially, with Junpei. He would know that she was missing, and he would have, and she, oh, God. So there's that. That doesn't make any sense. Then there's the fact that, so she died, which is why the current Nonary games are happening. But then, so then we fix it in the current Nonary games so that she could live in the previous timeline, but if she lives in the previous timeline, then there's no reason for the current Nonary games to exist, and there's no reason for the current Nonary games to exist, and there's no reason for her to have survived, and now you create a time paradox and the whole universe is destroyed. I think what the game was trying to say at the end there was that Seven actually, like, that Snake wouldn't have been able to tell that she was alive, which doesn't make any sense at all, because even if he cannot see her, he can still hear her. And then the fact that Seven would hide that information from them, and then Snake... This... Like, I understand that... Like, I understood immediately that the thing they were going for was to try to make it such that, like, Seven lies, and then Snake lies, or Snake wouldn't have to lie, but then Santa lies, so that they could host them again and save her. But that doesn't... Why would... There's no... Seven wouldn't... How did... So, here's the thing. This game wasn't bad. By no stretch of the imagination was this game bad. There was a lot of great things here. On a superficial level, the music was great. Gameplay-wise, most of the puzzles were really good. Most of them were really, really cleverly constructed and really fun to solve. There was a couple here and there that needed to be deleted from the universe, like the stupid toilet flushing gimmick, or having to click that one tile on the wall, or the thing where you literally cannot solve it unless you press the hint button, which is... I know why that arrow was made, but it still doesn't excuse it. And like there's... And most of the characters were all likable, for the most part. Even Lotus, I mean, we came around to like her by the end of it. I mean, they all have their moments of where you just go, ugh. But for the most part, they were all really likable. And, like, the story as a whole, like, I was really interested. I've been recording this back to back to back because I was really curious to find out the backstory of the ship and like why everybody's here and the connection they all have to each other. But the end result of all this was just like the second we started going down the route of communicating through the ether and like time paradoxes, I was just like, what are you doing, game? Why did you go down this route? What is this? So like, even if we put aside that, there was some minor things I pointed out along the way, like the echo effect that just like they really went too hard on the echo effect. There was the music that was completely like that. They really did not know what to do. Most of the music was great, like I said, but there was just a couple instances where they just did not know what to do with the music. It's like, oh, sad scene's happening. It's like, no, that's not the music you play in this scene. And then like there was another minor thing where like my input from the space sword would be stored when I went from one scene or from one text box to the other, so I would skip something accidentally. There was a lot of scenes where they would just sit down to explain something, and like there was Lotus with her computer spiel, the rat experiment, the painting nonsense, and just like you could have had this game. If you wanted the end payoff with the time travel thing, you could have had that without the paintings and without just sitting down to explain the rats and the paintings and the computer over and over again. It was just really repetitive dialogue with a lot of unnecessary filler. It needed to be condensed. All that needed to be condensed. There was no reason to re-explain all the stories in the true ending if we already found them in the safe ending. And like I said, there were some puzzles where that just didn't make any, or they made sense, but they had really esoteric solutions. But the biggest problem is just the ending of this game. Like, I still would not say this was a bad game. This was a great game. I'd say solid 7 out of 10 experience. But that ending just, wow. I'm disappointed. Like, I'm actually upset by that ending. Like, it was cool for a second. The second that I realized that it was, that he was communicating with her and that's how she was going to say live, I was like, oh, that was so cool. So maybe she's going to fake her death and then meet up later. But the way they went about this was just not. Because that's just a time paradox. And again, I know the game is trying to say that they lied about it to protect her and keep her alive, but there was so many better ways of doing that. That's such a way to go out on a limb. And also, you have to keep everyone else from talking too, because you have to bring her back to the boat, and the other kids aren't going to keep their mouths shut. I doubt it. There's just so many holes here. Well, I'm not going to drag this out any longer. Like I said, I'd say 7 out of 10 game. Story was interesting for the most part. Characters were really good. Most of the puzzles were fun to solve, but that finals, this whole ending sequence was just... I mean, like I said, I enjoyed the ride. It was a fun adventure. If you're wondering if I'm going to play the other Zero Escape games, I might, I mean, if for no other reason, the puzzle solving was great. So I'd be willing to check them out. I mean, I have them in my Steam library, so I'm going to play them eventually. I'm just going to take a break. I'm not going to jump straight into the next game, because I'm going to definitely need a break from this after that ending. But I will play them eventually. I'm not going to play them right away, but I didn't want to back out. The game was fun, mostly good, but that final ending just really, really dragged this whole experience down. It just sucks. It sucks when a game is so good until the final 5 seconds. Or I know that's an exaggeration, until like the final act. That's when it really sucks, because it's like, it's such a good ride, and it just ends so... Also, a couple other things I thought of while I was editing this. One, where did Akane go in that final room? I mentioned it briefly, but there were so many things that happened after that point that just made... I just completely forgot about it. Akane was in the room before Snake left, and then all of a sudden, she just disappeared into the ether. Like, where the hell did she go? Also, there was no payoff for why she kept getting fevers randomly. Like, I had expected them to do something with that, otherwise it's a really random detail. And then finally, and admittedly this is more just a personal thing, I wouldn't cite this strictly as a flaw of the game, but they really just, like, dead stop. Like, they get outside, they drive away, and then dead stop. There's no resolution for, specifically, there's no resolution for the relationship between Junpei and Akane. There's just nothing there. They had that scene in the past, yes, but as of the present, you'd think they'd want to talk and be like, hey, can we talk about what just happened there? Because holy hell. Or just some kind of resolution for what happened. Because as it stands now, there wasn't any. Which kind of sucks. That's it for now. I'll play the future Zero Escape games at some point. I'm going to take a break first. I don't want to jump straight into them. But that'll be it for now. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for my next series, which I'm not going to say what it is, but it'll be starting up sometime soon. I'm probably going to wait until, I'm looking at my schedule right now, I'm probably going to wait until after I finish Halo 3 to start up the new series. But I will be beginning a new series here sometime soon. But that'll be it for now, so thanks for watching. Stay tuned for my next series, and I hope to catch you all then for whatever mysterious Let's Play is going to be next on the channel. Goodbye.